Well, the day is finally upon us. It's time to move out of the Airstream. What's next, Lauren?
We're moving into our brand new one!
We're gonna be packing up everything we own and heading down to Florida to pick up our brand new 2021 30-foot Classic.
In case you guys haven't followed all the rest of our adventures, Airstream Corporate has been building our new unit, and they did us a huge favor and loaned us the one we've been living in for the first 2.5 months. But now it's time for us to move out so we can move into our very own.
So we're gonna be packing everything up, we're gonna be loading it into the truck, and we're going to be dropping this off at the nearest Airstream dealership. Where is it, Lauren?
Memphis, just south of Memphis.
We're gonna schedule the drop off. We're gonna say goodbye to our current beauty, and we're gonna start heading back to Florida to pick up our very own unit. Time to pack. Again. But this one will be fun. All right. Well, first things first. And the first step is to see what our truck looks like, because it's been kind of a dumping ground for all of the random stuff. Let's take a look. The game plan is to get everything into the truck and not need a U-Haul, and we'll see how it goes. Surprisingly, not as messy as I would have expected. We've got our 2 generators in the back corner here. We've got a bunch of our clothing. We've got a couple of suitcases in case we ever needed to fly out of here for whatever reason. Auto supplies in this one bin right here. It's a good starting point. Now for the back of the truck. Okay, so not so bad. Got our storage bins here. Got our vacuum cleaner in there and a bunch of just random stuff. So time to do some housekeeping. By the way, Craftsman, made in America. Okay, since we're gonna be living out of suitcases on the way back, you can tell there's some stuff in here. I don't know if we just kind of threw some random stuff in there. So the first thing is to figure out what's in here, unload it, and then we'll pack our clothes for the next week or so in these suitcases.
We figure the best way to start is to simply pull all of the stuff out of the truck and reorganize it. Normally, we would do that outside because we have a lot more space, but it's kind of a rainy day. We don't want to get everything wet, hence why all of this stuff.
Not a problem. All right, we've got some organizing to do.
I'm starting by sorting all of our clothes and moving them into one bigger bin so that we can keep these smaller bins in the back of the truck. And I'm also setting aside the warmer clothes stuff that I'm probably gonna wear. But check this out! Donut t-shirts! I'm folding up the last pieces of clothing that I have in the Airstream. And true story, I am appalled at the fact that I have a 20-gallon bucket worth of clothes in here. It is going to be my goal when we move into our new unit that I will bring only half of this, because 20 gallons worth of clothes, even for different seasons, is way more than any good minimalist should have. So here's the real test. Will it all fit? So the top has a little dent in it that I didn't account for, but nothing a little body weight can't fix. Ta-da!
Oh. I don't know if we're gonna be able to fit all 6 of these containers back here. I think my math might have been off a little bit on the size of the truck bed. I guess we'll see as we get closer. Just in case it rains.
One of the best things about the Airstream Classic is the amount of storage it has. That being said, it's also one of the worst things when you're trying to find all of the things that you had packed in here. But this is one of the drawers we don't use very often, so it's a good one to pack. Daniel did not end up making any of the ice cubes that come out of this thing. Seriously, we packed way too much stuff.
That is true. I did bring the clear ice skull maker and never used it, but maybe I will use it in the future. I don't know. It's a pretty cool thing.
True story, there are pot lids that are way behind here and I have no idea how I'm gonna get them out. Looks like there's also some technical equipment back there too. Right, attempt number 1. I think I just pulled my arm out a second. But I got it. Since we've known we're going to be packing up for like the last week, we've been playing this game of what can I make for dinner using the random ingredients that are still left in the Airstream. Now that we're only a couple days from leaving, the game is getting more and more difficult, but I'll show you what I have to work with. Up here is just the last of the like pantry, well, almost last pantry items. Because I also have stuff still over here. It's like the super random stuff left. And then normally, as a vegan, I would have tons of fresh veggies, and I don't even have that stuff left anymore. So I'm having to get super creative. After some contemplation, we have decided that we're going to try to make some type of pasta.
Whoop, garlic down! Garlic down! So good.
Pasta is ready. First, saute the onions, then add in the capers and garlic, and then start making our pasta sauce. Now that that looks nice and sauteed, I'm gonna start by dumping these diced tomatoes in here. Another can we do not have to take with us. That was not nearly as much liquid as I thought it was gonna be. Let's give this stuff a shot. I think we're gonna need a little more liquid, but good news is that I have some vegetable broth I can use too. Now that this has come to a simmer, we are gonna check on the meatballs real quick. Well, and by meatballs, I mean like veggies. Those are looking good, nice and toasty on the top. Nobody ever said this was gonna be the prettiest meal I've ever made, but according to Daniel, the sauce is pretty tasty. We call these the Unbiased food reviews.
This is really good. Considering it's everything but the kitchen sink, worked out pretty well.
So we call them Unbiased reviews because obviously Daniel is going to tell the truth about my cooking no matter what, because he lives in 250 square feet with me, and it would only be smart for him to tell the truth, right? But actually this time he did. It's really good. Go figure. After a full day of packing, all it really looks like we did was make a super huge mess. The good news is that what we have learned in the last 2.5 months is that you don't want to try to pack all in one day. So we gave ourselves a few more days. It just means it's gonna be a little messier around here than normal. It is the last day before it is time for us to turn in this unit. So we've got to actually get that packing done.
The truck is filling up a little bit faster than I would like. We do have room in the bed for 6 containers. Trying to prioritize now what stays in the cabin and what goes in the bed. The food and all of the electronics will live in the cabin with us while we're traveling. And then all of the clothing and kitchen gear and stuff will go into the bed of the truck. That's the plan. We'll see how it shakes out.
Thankfully, my seat's still available.
It is amazing how many random things we brought. I mean, there's so many things that we just thought we'd need, but never did. It's gonna be time to purge when we go home. Okay, except for this. This thing, I've needed like 1,000 times and didn't even know we had one.
All right, another box down. Oh, just kidding, it's really heavy. Daniel, found you.
It's not heavy at all. It's a good thing these bins are sturdy. Better than these. Yeah. 4 bins down. 2 to go. I think the plan is to have them in here with the grain. We'll see what happens. Lois and Clark, they're gonna be riding shotgun.
Daniel has done a really good job of packing Tetris. As you can see, the truck is packed very tightly, and considering we still have quite a bit of stuff in the Airstream, I'm getting a little bit nervous about how this is all gonna work out. But this is beautiful.
So next to last bin, we're down to 1 empty bin, and that's it. Fingers crossed we can pull this off because we're not gonna need a U-Haul. We're not gonna get a U-Haul. We're gonna make this work. No matter what, we're making this work, even if we have to like hold stuff in our laps.
We've made good progress. So the truck is getting really full. So what we decided to do, we're gonna run to the store, pick up some large trash bags so that we can put the hangers in those, as well as any types of linens, and just lay those out over top of these big bins in the back of the truck. Almost all the cabinets are empty. Empty cabinet. Fridge is almost empty. Empty pantry. Empty little thingamajiggy. So, packing, and then a really good clean, and we should be ready to drop her off tomorrow.
Good morning. It is officially moving day, so we're getting our last minute things done. We're gonna start hitting the road, headed towards the drop-off location. I'm packing up all of our chalks and blocks and loading up the bed of the truck, which is what we've got to work with at this point. And that's it. Hopefully it all fits in the bed of the truck like planned. Fingers crossed. So I've got all the towels in plastic bags to kind of like get some of the last bit pieces in there. Just lay them flat on top of the containers.
Since we're gonna be on the road for a few days, we're packing a suitcase, which is something I consider myself a little bit of a pro at, and I got a lot of questions about how I pack since we were able to travel for months with just a carry-on suitcase. So I figured I'd show you how I do it. I always start with putting my underwear, socks, all that good stuff, bathing suits, in whatever kind of like extra side compartment, because you need to be able to access that on a daily basis, but that's not where the magic comes in. How I do this is layering, folding kind of method. I always start with pants. The beauty of this method is that you're not really going to have as many wrinkles in your clothes because you're layering them. So I start by layering a first layer of pants that way, and you'll see I just have them folded in half. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing but opposite this way. Then I grab my dresses and any kind of long sleeves. And I am going to lay it out like this. And I'm gonna take the sleeves and align those with the pants. Beautiful. Because this has a little belt, I'm just gonna throw that belt right across the sleeve line. The next piece is a kimono. This could easily be considered either a pant or a dress in this particular method, but I'm gonna use it as a dress today because I don't have very many. So I'm just gonna lay that out like this. Then I have a little bathing suit cover up. So you'll see that I just, every other piece, switch the direction that it's going. And I know you're looking at this thinking this is really weird, but it works beautifully. I'm gonna do the same thing with layering those like I was doing with my dresses. I'll typically do all of the shirts before I add shorts in there. Ta-da! And then for my shorts, I'm just literally going to lay them right in here. All right, so we are done with the initial layer. What we do now is we're gonna start by folding in our pants and sleeves like that. So you can see how it makes like just a nice little bundle there. And then I'm gonna take this and fold it over the top. And I'm gonna do the same with this. And as you can see, it doesn't look like I have much in my suitcase. So you can get away with packing a lot more in a really small space like this. Now, because we're only gonna be traveling a little over a week, I am gonna put my PJs just laid straight out on top of this because I want to be able to access them easily, and I feel like that's a very helpful little tip to this. But ta-da! Snugly fit all in my suitcase with fewer wrinkles and more space. We're about 95% of the way packed, but we don't want to put all of the weight on the truck right now since we've got to drive 3 to 4 hours. So we're leaving some stuff in here like our cleaning supplies so that we can do a final round of cleaning once we get it to Memphis. But this means we're one step closer to getting our new unit. All right, let's get on the road.
All right, we just made it to South Haven RV where we're gonna drop off the Airstream, and we're gonna grab the last bits of things that we have inside the Airstream, load it into the bed of the truck, and potentially backseat as well, depending on how much stuff we have and how well we pack it. Fingers crossed, our plan for packing goes off without a hitch. We'll see what happens. I don't know how we tow these puppies, but we could definitely use some jet skis.
Can y'all imagine us living in this thing? Let's go take a sneak peek. This is beautiful, but definitely smaller than our house. Oh man. Yep, that's tiny. After letting the dealer know we had arrived, it was time to head back to the truck to do the final packing.
It is gonna be so tight. The thing I did not account for is the freaking bedding. All of our fancy pillows and all that stuff, because they're so fluffy, they take up space. The only thing I think of is for us to just like lay across this while we close it. This is our only hope of getting this thing closed.
That was a two-man job. But by some crazy fate,
I mean, it is packed in here so tight. I'm so thankful this all fit, because honestly I was at a point where I'm like, we're just gonna buy new bedding and we're just gonna leave it here in the parking lot. It's staying. It's not worth it. but we made it. And it all fits, barely. There's like a couple of inches here and there to spare. I'll call that a win. Oh! I give up. Plenty of space left over. Plenty of space. As long as I don't need visibility at all, or, you know, safety concerns, having loose objects above your head. Awesome. At least there's a skylight, so some light can seep through. So we just determined that this was the price alcohol. So as much crap as I was talking about leaving stuff, can't leave the babies here. I'll just deal with it. You would never know we're a minimalist. Like, we've got to do some hard looking in the mirror when we get home because we have accumulated too much stuff on this 2-month adventure. We're gonna re-minimalize as soon as we get back home. It's time to say goodbye. Lived in this thing for 2 months. We feel like almost a connection with it. It's like we're letting our baby go. Although this was not our baby, this baby was on loan, so now we're gonna go pick up our new baby. Kind of excited about that. Let the good times roll.
And just like that, we said goodbye to our very first Airstream. But it won't be long before we're picking up the new one. If anything, the last 2.5 months has taught us exactly how happy we are with the decision to live full-time in an RV. The US has so much beauty that we would have never explored without road tripping it, and we cannot wait to see even more in our brand new Airstream Classic. But for now, we're off to Laurel, Mississippi to test out a theory we've been toying with about tiny living. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and ring that little bell so you don't miss it. It may just help you decide what size RV you would want to travel in. Until next time, friends, find a way to wander local this week. It's good for the soul.